Start time, our track record, 6 flat in the second run. Her and Alana Myers-Taylor both.
593, 700's quicker.
700. Every other athlete's got 300-400s worse. And what's this Canadian future superstar do? Smashes the track record by 700s.
Smashes, you heard them, smashes the track record by 700. So, oh, come on, man. Canadian Bobsledder Cynthia Appiah has recently put her stake in the ground as a contender heading into the Olympic year, finishing 5th. That was at the Women's Monobob Championships in Germany. Impressively, of course, as you heard the announcers there, lowering her start times in every run. She's also an advocate for diversity in bobsledding. She joins us this morning from Whistler, BC. Cynthia, good morning.
Morning, thank you.
No problem. When you watch that, yeah, that smile, what do you think about when you watch that each time and you hear what they're saying?
It's honestly, it just fills me with so much like joy because I did not expect that kind of commentary coming from them. So I got so many messages from friends telling me what was being said during the races, and I was just so happy to hear about it afterwards.
That's it. So quickly, for time's sake, I want to kind of give if you could give us the short story of how you got to this point. What's it been like to get to here in your journey?
It's been a lot of hard work. I mean, that sounds so cliche, but I came from track and field in 2015 and was so close to making it in Pyeongchang, and a last-minute decision was made to have me as an alternate instead of a racing brakeman. And so that almost killed my love for the sport, and I almost quit being an athlete entirely. And so it took a lot of goading and convincing to come back, but this time as a pilot. And that's an even more challenging and harder route. It's not as straightforward as being a brakeman, but it's now starting to pay off in dividends.
And that's and being a pilot and as being a black female in this game, they're saying, you know, you're not supposed to be doing it. That's not for you, right? And you're trying to break down those stereotypes and say, hey, I got this.
Exactly. I mean, the athletes themselves have been pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of us coming through and switching over into the pilot role, but you're still having to face like coaches and administrators and people within the organization internationally who still hold on to these very archaic thoughts as to what black athletes can do and what black brakemen switching into the pilot role can do.
Yeah, and I want to talk about your family, your parents. When you think about them and how they've kind of supported you throughout this, just speak about them a little bit.
They are my biggest supporters, like my entire family. My mom especially, like she is super apprehensive about me joining the sport. But as she's seen how passionate I've been over the years, she, gets super excited telling people, what I do. She still has a hard time explaining what bobsleigh is, and even I, like telling regular Canadians who don't know the sport is hard. But you can just see her beaming up and beaming with so much pride whenever she tells people what I do.
It's it, and this monobob. This is a new event that's happening. You're going to be competing, for Canada in this, and you're in Whistler now. You're in quarantine. You're going to get training in a few days once you get out of that. But talk about what that process is going to be like and about this sport.
It's going to be super challenging. I mean, I think as a team, Canada is a lot stronger going into this Olympic year than we were going into the last Olympic year, and I think we've got a really great shot of qualifying all 3 sleds. But it's going to require, 7 races starting in October and amassing as many points and as many podium finishes as you can to secure your spot for Beijing.
And I want to know, while you're in quarantine right now, have you been watching Jeopardy with some funky socks on? I know that you have this sock thing that's happening. Do you have a pair that you like to show off? Do you have any right now?
I don't have any on right now because it's Monday. I try and keep my funky socks for Friday and make it Funky Sock Friday.
I like it.
But, Jeopardy is such a huge thing. Like, it's a family thing, too. Like, it gets intense in our house. But the sock thing is a thing that we started up at the gym in Calgary, and you get called out on Fridays if you walk in without funky socks. I mean, people are like, are you wearing your socks? Are you wearing your socks? So it's like, I don't know how it started. Actually, I do know. We wear coveralls when we're sliding in the winter, and it only goes down to our ankles. And so I was like, okay, I need to wear something to cover my ankles so it doesn't get cold. And I didn't want to just wear white socks. So I decided, you know what, let me just wear some funky things. And, that kind of started off there.
Look, Cynthia, I'm a big supporter of hashtag ankles out, but I like this for the socks. That should be a sponsor. Like, that's a sponsor thing, if anything, because you're right. You're in the tight. You got the tights on, and then boom, rock out the cool socks with that. Look, we wish you the best. You're doing great things, and you're continuing to rise in the sport, which is awesome. And making those changes throughout your career is so cool, and we can't wait to see what you've got going on and support you in the Olympics coming up as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you. And, of course, everyone can check out bobsleigh canadaskeleton.ca for more info on Cynthia Appiah as well. We're going from one great Canadian to a few more. Coming up, an innovative clothing line that provides worry-free comfort for transgender girls and women.